Hello guys, welcome to another video, and in this video we are going to keep talking about the Amazon S3 advanced features. And in the first topic that we're going to talk about is going to be encryption, which is one of my favorites things to talk about because I have my CCNA security and I'm working on my CCNP security as well. So if we want to go ahead and take a look at my videos for the CCNA security and CCNP security, go into my channel. I have plenty of good videos on it. So let's go ahead and talk about encryption on the Amazon S3. So it is strongly recommended that all sensitive data stored in Amazon S3 be encrypted, both in flight and at rest. In flight means while it's moving, and at rest, of course, is when it is staying in the Amazon cloud. And to encrypt your Amazon S3 data in flight, you can use the Amazon S3 Secure Socket Layers (SSL) and API endpoint. This ensures that all data sent to and from Amazon S3 is encrypted while in transit using the HTTPS protocol. And all AWS key management services uses the 256-bit advanced encryption standard AES. And you can also encrypt your Amazon S3 data at rest using the client-side encryption, encrypting your data on the client before sending it to um, Amazon S3. So let's go ahead and see the options that we have for encryption via the server side. Um, and the first one that we have is using the SSE S3, which is AWS managed keys. And this SSE means that secure server. I believe, yeah, it is secure server or server side. Let me see, server side. Let me see. I believe it is server. Yeah, it is server side. So yeah, SSE S3 means server side encryption S3, AWS managed keys. So this is a fully integrated checkbox style encryption solution where AWS handles the key management and the key protection for Amazon S3 or for your Amazon storage. And there is another one that is called the SSE, server-side encryption, KMS, AMS, KMS keys. This is a fully integrated solution where Amazon handles your key management and protection for your Amazon S3, but where you manage the keys. Okay, so the difference between the SSE S3 and the SSE KMS is that in the SSE S3, AWS handles the key management and the key protection for the Amazon S3. But for the KMS, Amazon handles the key management and the protection for Amazon S3, but we have to manage our own key. Amazon does not manage our own our keys, right? Not like over here where they manage our keys. And then we have the server-side encryption C, which is customer provider keys. This is used when you want to maintain your own encryption keys but don't want to manage or implement your own client-side encryption library. And then the other option that we have is the client-side encryption, refers to encrypting data on the client side of your application before sending it to Amazon S3. So we encrypt it and then we send it to Amazon S3, and then Amazon S3 does not need to, or we don't need to encrypt it on Amazon. So, and you have the following two that you can use, either a AWS KMS managed customer master key, or you can use a client-side master key as well. When using client-side encryption, you retain end-to-end control of the encryption process, including the management of the encryption keys. So let's go ahead and take a look at the options that we have for that on the AWS management, on the AWS management console. So we are going to go to storage S3, and we don't have any buckets. Let's go ahead and create a, just remember that the bucket name needs to be globally unique. So ccdtt.com, it's not taken. Let's go ahead and create that bucket. Let's go ahead and upload any files that we need. Let's go ahead and just do the Cisco headquarters, upload it. There we go. So if we check this one, we have different options. As you can see, the permissions, we have properties, and you can see our properties, you can see that there is none, the encryption is none. So if we click on right here, you see that we don't have any encryption. So if you want to use AES 256, so use Amazon S3 server-side encryption to encrypt your data, or if you want to use the AWS KMS, you can use that as well. So that's how you are able to encrypt your data, and that's going to encrypt just this object inside this ccdgt.com bucket. But let's see, are we able to do it straight from this bucket? So by default, everything we add to it, it encrypts it. I don't see anything. So I don't think we are able to do that. Let's go to properties, versioning, default encryption. There we go. So we are able to, this property does not affect existing objects in the bucket. So if you have a object already in there, it's not going to encrypt it. But after you enable the AES 256 and save it, then everything you put after you enable um, the encryption, then what's going to happen is it's going to encrypt it. It's going to encrypt anything, any object that you put in it. Okay, so that's how you are able to enable encryption for a bucket and also for a object. So let's go ahead and go back to my PowerPoint, and we are going to move on, and now we are going to talk about versioning. And Amazon S3 versioning helps protect your data against accidental or malicious deletion by keeping multiple versions of each object in the bucket. Versioning allows you to preserve, retrieve, and restore every version of every object stored in your Amazon S3 bucket, which is really nice. So if a user makes an accidental change or even maliciously deletes an object in your S3 bucket, you can restore the object to its original state. Versioning is turned on at the bucket level, and once it is enabled, versioning cannot be removed from a bucket. It can only be suspended. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So let's go ahead to the S3. So it is at the bucket level. Let's see. So versioning is turned on at the bucket level. So it can only be turned on from the bucket level and not from a single object. Okay. So only from this bucket. And if we go into, where's versioning? Right here. You got to go to properties, and versioning is right here, and it is disabled by default. And if you enable it, like I said on my PowerPoint, if you once it is enabled, versioning cannot be removed from the bucket. It can only be suspended. As you can see right here, if we want to remove it, nope, it can only let you suspend it. Okay, so that's good. Let's go ahead into this bucket, and let's go ahead and see my object that I have in here. And now, as you can see, we now have the version. So you can show or hide the versions. You can see that we just have the latest one. Let's go ahead and hide it. And now what I want to do, let's say that I was able to, or I got fired, but I still have access to my to the AWS management console of the company that fired me. And what I want to do is I just want to delete a bunch of stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete it, blah, blah, blah. And you can see we don't have any objects here. But what they could do um, after a couple minutes of me deleting this object, now they remove my credentials and I cannot get into it. But I already deleted that object. But what they could do is they can go back to over here and see the versions. You can do show, and you can see that the delete marker is in there. So what they could do to bring it back, they can just delete this, and if they delete this marker, and you can now hide it, you can see that it is back to the original um, state, right? So the versioning, the I was able to restore this, and let's also try to let's delete it one more time, and it's not there. But the versions you can do show. You can see that we have multiple versions right here for the object HQ default.jpg. And let's see what if we click on over here, does it let you restore? It doesn't let you restore. What if we select both of them? It still doesn't let you restore. Nice. from over here, we can just delete it and it goes back. But if we delete it from here, the version, so we remove the version, so now we don't have anything. So what I need to do is I need to, if I want to actually mess everything up, what I could do is delete the object and then go to the versions and also delete the versions over here. So now let's go ahead and upload a couple files. Let's go ahead and upload a couple pictures. This one right here, upload, and let's go ahead and upload another one. Another picture index, this one right here. There we go. So now let's say that I want to delete this one. So this one has been deleted and it's not there over here. But if you do on show versions, you can see that the deleted marker is there, and you can still see also the other one, which was not deleted. That's why it doesn't have a delete marker there. Only the CCNA SEClab.jpg has that deleted marker there. And that's how you can tell which one was deleted and which one was not. Since this one was not deleted, it doesn't have that delete marker, right? Let's go ahead and delete that marker so we can bring that back to life. There we go, hide, and you can see that both pictures are there. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. We already talked about encryption, versioning, and now let's go ahead and talk about MFA Delete. So MFA Delete adds another layer of data protection on top of bucket versioning. MFA Delete requires additional authentication in order to permanently delete an object version or change the versioning state of a bucket. In addition to your normal security credentials, MFA Delete requires an authentication code like a temporary or one-time password generated by a hardware or a software. And note that MFA Delete can only be enabled by the root account, okay? So important to remember that. So whenever you enable MFA Delete, which stands for multiple factor authentication, what when you enable that and you're going to delete an object, or yeah, whenever you're going to delete an object, it's going to ask you for that multi-factor authentication code, which either comes from a hardware token or from a software, like the Google Authenticator is one of them, and also Duo has its own authenticator as well. And then we have cross-region replication, and cross-region replication is a feature of Amazon S3 that allows you to synchronously replicate all the new objects in the source bucket in one AWS region to a target bucket in another region. So any metadata and ACLs associated with the bucket are also part of the replication. After you set up a cross-region replication on your source bucket, any changes to the data, metadata, or ACLs on an object trigger a new replication to the destination bucket. So, and to enable cross-region replication, versioning must be turned on, okay, for both source and destination buckets. And you must use an IAM policy to give Amazon S3 permissions to replicate objects on your behalf. So let's take a look at that option that we have. So if we go into, if we select this, I believe this needs to be done from the bucket level. If we go to management, you can see it right here, replication. Um, and since we haven't created any cross-region replication rules for this bucket, you can go ahead and add a rule, and you can just say for this entire bucket, click on next, and it's going to ask you where you want to put it. Since we do not have a bucket, we only have one bucket, we need to create another bucket. So let's go ahead and do that first. ccdgt.com 2. Next, actually go previous and just go ahead and create it. So now we have two buckets in the same region. So if you want to go into ccdgt.com bucket, and we want to go into management, and we want to go into replication, we want to add a rule. We want to replicate the entire bucket, which is ccdgt.com. Next, and we can select, so Okay, so I did something wrong. Let's go ahead and go back. I believe we need to put this bucket in another region, and we won't be able to just do it from here. So why don't we just, let's go ahead and delete this bucket. ccdgt.com to delete it. And because they were both in the same region, we will now be able to configure that. So let's go ahead and create a bucket, ccdgt.com to, and put it in another region. Let's put it in the US, Ohio. Let's create it. After completing is current against these resources, please try again. So it doesn't let me create the bucket. Let's go ahead and try another region. Uh, North Virginia does not let me. Next, next, create bucket. So it still doesn't let me create that bucket, and it's currently in progress against this resource. Please try again. So it doesn't let me do that. Let's see if I just ccdgt.com 3 and put it in Ohio. Maybe it is because I have a free account. Let's put in North California. There we go. And I think it was because AWS is still trying to delete the ccdgt.com 2 bucket, and that's why they did not put it in that region. So now if we go right here and we go into management, we go into replication, we're going to add a rule, we're going to do the entire bucket, and we want to select the bucket which is in this region, North Carolina, and this bucket does not have versioning enabled. So we need to, before we do that, like it said in the PowerPoint, versioning must be turned on for both sources and destination buckets. So we need to do it for both buckets. We need to, it is enabled right here. So we need to just enable to the destination bucket, which is this one right here. Enable, that's good. Let's go back to this bucket, management, replication. Let's add a new rule. Then we're going to do the entire bucket. We're going to select this bucket. Next, we're going to select a rule to create a new rule. We're going to say test. Next. And now what's going to happen is that the source is going to be this bucket that it is in the North Virginia. And it's going to send it to the ccdgt.com 3 bucket, which is located in North Carolina, in North California. Save it. And there we go. So now we have created that replication. So if you go to this bucket, okay, let's see if we upload a new file. IT Pro TV, nice S3. So there it is. We have created that um, cross-region replication. Um, it's just going to replicate all new objects in the source bucket in one um, AWS region to target a bucket in another region. So it hasn't done it right here for some reason. Or you can see right here that it was replicated. Okay, so you need to, it just replicated that version right here of the new um, file that I uploaded. But you can see it right here when you do the show versions. Okay, so we're done with that one. Let's go ahead and keep going. And now you can also enable login. And in order to track requests to your Amazon S3 buckets, you can enable Amazon S3 server access logs, and login is off by default, but it can easily be enabled. And when you enable login for a bucket, the source bucket, you must choose where the logs will be stored, the target bucket. When you store access logs in the same bucket or in a different bucket, either way, it is optional, but at best practice to specify a prefix such as logs or the bucket name logs so that you can more easily identify the log. So let's go ahead and take a look at login from the console. And let's go ahead to this bucket. We can go to properties, and here we go, server access login. You can just enable it, choose the bucket, and we're going to create it. We're going to select logs, and let's go ahead and save it. So we have enabled login, and what's going to happen, anything that we do on this bucket is going to create a log. So let's see if we can upload another picture. See if I have any. Let's upload these radios in TechX. Upload. There we go. It has been uploaded. You can see all the versions right here working good still. That's good. Let's go to the CCD, and you can see that the new one was uploaded, so that's good. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to the login. Present. So once enabled, logs are delivered on a best effort basis with a slightly delay. So there is a delay, that's why we have not seen anything. And logs include information such as requester account and IP address, bucket name, request time, action, either get, put, list, and so forth, and response status or error code. Okay, that's what it's going to give you whenever the log gets created. And like it says, there's a slight delay to it, so it doesn't happen right away. And also you can enable event notifications. And Amazon S3 event notification can be sent in response to actions taken on objects uploaded or stored in Amazon S3. Event notifications enable you to run workflows, send alerts, or performs other actions in response to changes in your objects stored in Amazon S3. You can use Amazon S3 event notification to set up triggers to perform actions such as transcoding media files when they are uploaded, processing data files when they become available, and synchronizing Amazon S3 objects with other data stores. So let's go ahead and take a look at that other object, other that other um, action that we can do. So if you select this, and if you go, let's go over here, and here we go. This one, this it's the event, and you want to add a notification. So whenever it's put, let's go ahead and select all of them. And this prefix is enter an optional. It is optional. So we're not going to enter anything. This is optional. And send, choose SNS topic to send notification. The destination is going to be this function. SNS is there. And you can select the topic. So we have not created that, but since we don't have that SNS topic or SQSQ, we cannot add it. But this is how you can do an event, and that could send it to a server that you have where people can just get those events. If somebody tries to delete anything, you're going to get that notification to your server. Okay, so moving on, and that was the last one. Well, that was the last one, guys. So in this video, we went over the encryption and the encryption options that we have. We also talk about versioning, and we show you guys how to do versioning. We went over MFA Delete. We went over cross-region replication, and we show you guys how to do that. We went into login, and I show you guys how to do that. And I also went and talk about event notifications. And let's see if we have that, if the login, see if it is, if the logs are in there, and it doesn't look like it is in there. So like I said, there is a slight delay on it, and that's why it is not showing there. I don't know how long it takes, if it takes like an hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours, but there is a slight delay to it. So this is it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this video. And on the next video, we're going to move on and talk about more on Amazon S3 Glacier. So this is it for this video, guys. And if you guys enjoyed this video, why don't you guys go ahead and follow me on Twitter at CCNA Daily Tips if you have a Twitter account. If you do not have a Twitter account, go ahead and create a Twitter account and then follow me on Twitter at CCNA Daily Tips. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye bye.